So this is our duty, is that we're not, sometimes devotees, they feel that we're taking something from someone, you're beggars, you're taking. No, we're giving the grihastha community, we're giving the Vaishyas a chance to purify their wealth. Because, as I mentioned, association and the contact of money contaminates the consciousness with all demoniac qualities. Greed, hypocrisy, cheating, lying, secrecy, and all these qualities that go with money. And these will keep one bound in the material conception of life. And as I mentioned, it's explained in the Vedas that the characteristic of a grihastha is selfishness. They become so selfish they only care about their family. They don't care if the whole world goes to hell or their next door neighbor dies of starvation. As long as their wife is fat and happy and their kids are fat and happy, then that's great. They don't care. The person next door could be dying of starvation. This is how intense the selfishness becomes. So this is because of this is a natural propensity in grihastha life. So we're giving by accepting charity from grihasthas. The brahmacharis, or grihasthas, remember, the brahmanas, who are begging on behalf of the Lord, they're giving the whole world a chance to get purified and free from the bodily concept of life, and free from all these demoniac qualities which drive one further down the evolutionary scale, down to animal life. Animals are so selfish that they only care about, they're so much selfish that even when they have children, they eat their children. They're so much envious. And the snakes, when snakes have children, they eat their own children at birth. And how much selfishness is in that family situation. So our work of collecting charity, we're not beggars, we're doing the greatest welfare work. Because we're giving charity. We're not actually collecting charity. A devotee should never think, I'm taking something or I'm collecting something. A devotee should always understand, I'm giving. Because dan, we say dan pratigraha. These are the two functions of a brahmana. Dan pratigraha means accept charity and give charity. So basically, we're giving charity. What is the charity we're giving? We're giving Krishna consciousness. And we're giving an opportunity for people to engage in the service of the Lord, which will elevate their life, purify their consciousness, and give them an opportunity to realize God and attain the fullest happiness of unlimited life in the spiritual world. So who's doing greater welfare work than ourselves? That's why in the Bhagavatam, it's listed as one of the 28 qualities of a saintly person. We are supposed to develop these qualities of saintly persons. We are supposed to become saints and saintly people. We may be saints in the making, or we may be saintly already, but at least we should have these qualities. So there are 28 qualities listed there. So one of them is sarva para upakara. Sarva means that welfare work. You can say that the greatest welfare work, charity for all. That is a quality. A devotee is very charitable, and the charity that he does is he gives Krishna consciousness to others. And people are so appreciative and so thankful that they reciprocate by giving something that's valuable and usable, which is money. And money, when it comes to us, just like the Maya Sita, Ravana wanted to get the Sita, so Sita in his hands was Maya Sita, illusory Sita. He could never touch that Sita, never enjoy that fortune. It simply ruined him and destroyed him, even his desire to touch. But when Sita comes in our hands, or when fortune comes in our hands, it becomes Lakshmi. It's not Maya Sita, it's the real Sita, engaged in the service of Ram. And then that person who gives in that way becomes blessed, becomes fortunate. So all of the devotees, all the persons born in India, they are meant to be these type of persons, sarva para upakara. That's why Mahaprabhu said, hey, listen, Bharata bhumiti hoila manasu janma jara, janma sartakakari bharakara upakara. Hey, you folks, you men and women, you're born here in India. Bharata bhumite hoila, manasa janma jar. You're manasya janma. You have a human birth. You're human beings. And as Bharat, you've one born here, so you should do the greatest welfare work. Give the charity. Give this Krishna consciousness to everyone. So that is the purpose of our activities right now. We're very much in this mood. And I was thinking, of course, Rupa Goswami gives an interesting definition of dan, or charity. He says that real charity, or he says that love of God can be attained love of God will be manifested within one when the devotee becomes the giver of charity and Krishna becomes the recipient of charity. Then love of God will manifest within one. So this means that each of us should become a dana vir. We must become a dana vir. We must become chivalrous, become strong in giving charity. Because if we give charity, if Krishna is the recipient, in other words, now Krishna is collecting, if we become the givers and Krishna becomes the recipient of our charity, then within us, love of God will manifest. So what is our gift of charity? What is our dan? What will we give? What can we give? What can you give the man who has everything? Krishna's Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Radha Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He's Aishvayasya Samagrasya Virayasya He has Yashashashriya. Thank you. Yashashashriya, the same word is here, Yasha. What is it? Yasha Amalam. He says Yasha Amalam. He says Amala, pure fame, impeccable reputation, pure fame, spotless character. So Krishna has all these qualities and has all these bhagyas and opulences. He's Bhagavan. So what can we give him? How can we be the givers of charity and he be the recipient? How can we get this love of God? What can we give him? We can give him only one thing, our desire. We can give all our desires to Krishna. Krishna, I only desire what you want. I don't want all of my desires. I want to be melted in that pot. I want to put all my desires in one pot and melt them together. I want to be one with your desire. Whatever you want from me, that is what I want. So that if we can give all of our desires to Krishna and Guru, then love of Godhead will manifest within us. So we must also become Danavir in that way. It's interesting because we're in this place. I thought of an interesting analogy, which is something to think about. In this place of Hastinapur, there was once a great general, a great king and general. And he wanted to perform a yajna. He wanted to do a sacrifice, a huge yajna. Why? The purpose of that yajna or sacrifice was to glorify the topmost personality in the whole creation. And in his mind and in his heart, he believed and he realized that the topmost personality in all creation is Sri Krishna Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this great king and this great military commander, this great Kshatriya, he wanted to glorify and engage in a huge yajna for the glorification of his Lord, Krishna. So he ordered his brother. He said, you go out and collect wealth for the performance of this Rajasuya Yajna. Rajasuya Yajna. Very costly affair. Millions and millions of dollars for such a yajna. So much gold and so much is required. So his brother, he received the name Dhananjaya, winner of wealth. There's Dan, which is charity, then Dana, that means wealth. So he became the winner of wealth. So he was ordered by his commander, his military, the chief, the king, the prime minister, his brother, and he went out and collected wealth and did this huge yajna for the glorification of Krishna in Dwapara Yuga. So I was thinking that in Lord Chaitanya's time, he appointed different devotees and parishads to become military commanders. And he gave them the name Senapati. You're a Senapati. Nityananda Prabhu was a Senapati. Haridas Thakur was a Senapati. He gave them this title. You go out. He gave them the order. You're my commander. You spread Krishna consciousness in Bengal. You're my Senapati Bhakta. So then, we see that after Lord Chaitanya's time, many of his followers and his devotees have become Senapati Bhaktas. They have become powerful representatives of Lord Chaitanya's will to spread Krishna consciousness. They become powerful commanders. So, Srila Prabhupada, sometimes there's some predictions that were made by Lochan Das Thakur, which is Tirobhakti the other day. Lochan Das Thakur made a famous prediction, which people probably heard about, but they didn't know it was from Lochan Das Thakur. But he recorded it in Chaitanya Mangal, which is written at the same time as, shortly after Chaitanya Bhagavat, within a few years, and before Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Lochan Das Thakur, he predicted there, he said, in the future, a Senapati Bhakta, he will take Krishna consciousness and he will spread it all over the world. And he will bring devotees from all countries and lands to the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He made this prediction. So many of us, we can't help but think that it was our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. He certainly seems to have fulfilled the prediction of Lochan Das Thakur. Srila Prabhupada ki! So following in the wake of Srila Prabhupada, he has many, many great disciples who have taken up this order of Lord Chaitanya to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And they've also become Senapatis. They've also become Senapatis, commanders in Lord Chaitanya's army. So one such commander has come to this field, to this kshetra, to this dharmic kshetra. One commander has come to this dharmic kshetra, just like so many Senapatis assembled in Kurukshetra, north of here, for the battle 5,000 years ago. So many Karna and Arjuna and Bhima and Duryodhana and all, Dhritarashtra, all these big Senapatis, commanders. So one commander has come here to this field, this dharmic kshetra, and he has collected some people, and he's given an order. And he's given an order and says, now, you go out and collect wealth. Go out and collect wealth, because I want to do a yajna. I want to do a yajna to establish the worship of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. But to do this yajna, we want to perform yajna. What is the yajna we want to perform? Harinam Sankirtan. Right? Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam. Kalovana stevana stevana seva gatiranyata. So I want to perform this yajna every day in a big way, all over this place. So to do this yajna, to establish the worship of Ram, I want to bring Ram here and show the world that Ram is the worshipful Lord, and Krishna is the worshipful Lord, and Gauranga Mahaprabhu is the worshipful Lord. And you have to go and collect that wealth. So I was thinking that our Senapati, commander in this field, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, our God brother, he is a Senapati for this field, this dharmic kshetra. And you are all the Arjunas. You're all the Arjunas. He is the Yudhisthira. He is the commander, Yudhisthira. The king, the commander. He's given the order to Arjuna, just like Yudhisthira gave the order to Arjuna for the Rajasuya Yajna. So Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, has given the order to all of the Arjunas and Arjunis or whatever. But all the Arjunas, I think only the Arjunas are collecting. There's no that side. They're keeping the Arjunas on the battlefield, keeping them running. Keep running, Arjuna. Keep running. Aniyor. So the devotees are the Arjunas. So you're all Dhananjaya. So you're winners of wealth. You're collecting this wealth. And when we get this wealth, we will establish this temple. Because just like when Yudhisthira wanted to do the Rajasuya Yajna in the same place in Delhi, he had to do so much preliminary work. He had to establish a Yagyashala. It took months to make that Yagyashala. It isn't something you do in one day. Just like Brajabhakti to make that Yagya Kund for the Nrsinga Yagya Kund. It doesn't happen in 1 minute. It takes so much arrangement, this thing, that thing, and so much headaches just for a little thing. But when the Rajasuya, there's 108 fires and so many things, it's a huge thing. It takes months to prepare. Everything has to be done in proper tithis and nakshatras, and this thing at that nakshatra, and then this installation, this direction, that direction. So you have to set up everything, and then you can do the yajna. So the same way, this building of the temple is the same as the establishing of the Yagyashala and the whole Yagya Kund by Yudhisthira. We have to collect all the money. First we have to build the temple. We have to make all the arrangements for guest house, temple, restaurant, everything, museum, all these things. Then the Lord comes, just as Krishna came. He came to the assembly. And then once he was there in the assembly, then the worship began, the Yagya began. So all we're doing, we're building this temple, which is a preliminary for the Sankirtan Yagya, to worship Parthasarathi and Sri Ram. So this is a very nice analogy that came to us while we were thinking about the hard work that all of you are doing to bring about this yajna at this dharmic kshetra, and following in the footsteps of valiant kings like Yudhisthira, And Arjuna, that's very wonderful.